I love the idea of creating something. I love the idea of building something. It isn't just for the sake of money. It is the idea that the end goal is that we're going to create and build something that you can look to and point to and say, look what we've done. I started off with myself and now we have 200 employees. So the idea that I have created something with the assistance of others makes me feel probably the most successful more than anything.
Who creates jobs in America?
Who should be creating the jobs are the private sector. And unfortunately, probably for the last 20 years, the contribution of job creation for not great reasons were also created by the state as well as the federal governments. Going from 13% to well over 20% at the height. Now they're scaling back. What we should be focused on is how to help, in particular, small businesses under 250 employees and less create jobs and create an environment where they feel as though they want to go ahead and take that type of risk.
What is hurting small business growth today?
I think the three areas that is the priority for most small business and even mid and large size companies has to be regulations. The second thing is access to capital, and the third thing is really litigation and legal costs. But what I think hits the small businesses the most right now is really regulation as well as the access to capital. The large companies, by and large, have access to capital. The small companies do not. It doesn't hit the large corporation. In fact, they're having a heyday because they're out in the markets borrowing at the lowest cost that they ever have. But those are not the companies that create the jobs in this country.
What can be done to improve the business environment?
I think we need to simplify. The problem that comes in is the amount of regulations that we have to comply with as a small business. One of our companies that we own is a company called Workplace Solutions, and we deal with over 2,000 small employers out in the country, in almost every part of this country, all the way from Alaska to Hawaii to Florida to the East Coast and the West Coast. And there's one thing that very much is in common with every one of them, is that they are not willing to hire if they do not understand what's going to happen to them 12 to 16 months down the line. So we need to bring a lot of clarity to them. We also need to make the environment for new businesses to start. And the only way new businesses are going to start is if they feel as though they're going to be successful 6 years, 2 years from now, but they don't have that comfort level when they see the media with all these, fight about debt ceilings, where the economy is heading, how bad things can get. These are things that these small businesses see day in, day out, and why should they take that risk and put their entire capital on the line when they can't go out to the marketplace and have any clarity whatsoever?
Who has the greatest impact on job growth, big or small businesses?
The entity that creates the jobs in this country, not only now, but 20 years from now, will have a much bigger impact, because the larger companies will hire wherever they need to hire, and it probably will not be within the United States. So if we're going to hinge our entire legislative policies based upon those large companies, we're doomed. We got to focus on the small businesses and the entrepreneurs who are creating the jobs and creating an environment for them to want to take that particular risk. And I don't think that is any different than what most Americans want. But over these political wranglings, it is very difficult to cut through that noise. Very, very difficult. Just like I try to create an environment within the house for my kids to be the most successful, I created an environment within our own organization for our employees to be successful. This country has to create an environment for entrepreneurs to be successful. And that is just not what is happening here today.